everybody, welcome to this video. I'm joined by Pepper, as usual. As you know, she likes to join pretty much all my videos. I'm gonna move this back. I've got my phone on my tripod, so this video is going to be me going over my birth plan. Basically stuff that I want done during, Pepper, you gotta go this way. Stuff that I want done during my delivery, and yes, she likes to be cuddled. Where'd you go, girl? Basically stuff that I want done during my delivery, stuff I don't want done, that kind of thing. So what I did is I printed off just a few like templates to like help me basically better organize my birth plan. So I printed off a few different templates and I filled them out because they were all different. So I have 3 here, but I'm only going to use the 2 main ones because the first one is just kind of whatever. So yeah, I took this one off of thebump.com. I had somebody send me the link for it so I could use it. And so I guess I'll just read off the plan to you. Pepper, you're in the way, that's rude. I'll just read off the plan to you guys off of the 2 templates that I did use. And if you guys have any questions about like my decisions for my birth plan, and or if you have any like recommendations on maybe stuff I've missed or whatever, then feel free to comment below. I'm open to suggestions or even any support from any fellow VBAC moms, as that's what I'm aiming for with this delivery, is for a VBAC. For those of you that don't know what a VBAC is a vaginal birth after cesarean, which is, you guys all know, I had a C-section with Allie, an emergency C-section. So I will be planning for the VBAC this time, and hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be able to successfully have my VBAC and I'll feel like great, basically. So I felt pretty bummed after how my delivery went with Allie, but I still love her and I'm thankful she's here and that any complications were avoided with her delivery. So but yeah, so basically it asked me put my full name, my partner's name, the hospital where I'll be delivering, and my doctor's name, which I'm not going to read off those because they're personal. You guys know my name anyways, and you guys know my partner's name. So me, Kenzie, and partner's Michael, so you guys know that. But the other stuff I'm just not going to tell you guys. So you're supposed to put, please note that I, one of the options, have group B strep, MRH, incompatibility with baby, have gestational diabetes. I haven't gotten the group B strep test done yet, which that I don't get done until I think like 28 weeks or 30 weeks, something like that. And the GB test I get done with my next visit with my midwife, so that'll be, hi Pepper, that'll be in like 2 weeks when I see her. So I haven't checked that off because I can't yet. So my delivery is planned as a VBAC, which I just explained is a vaginal birth after cesarean. I'd like my boyfriend, Michael, and my stepmom, as well as my midwife, present before and or during labor. So I had Mike's mom present for my delivery with Allie, and she also was in the room with me for my C-section because Michael couldn't handle the seeing everything. It made him feel queasy, which this time he's going to be in the room with me for everything right till the very end. And if I end up having to get another C-section, then he's going to be he'll be there, he'll be in the room with me, but he just has been told not to look behind the curtain because unless you want to be like scarred for life seeing insides and blood and all that stuff, then don't look behind the curtain. Check see if Allie's still asleep. Yeah, she's still sleeping. Okay, I'm good. So yeah, I had Michael's mom there last time because my mom couldn't make it, and I asked my mom if she'd be able to come this time, and she's not gonna be able to make it either. So I wanted my stepmom there, since me and her are semi-close. So I'm hoping she'll be able to. Pepper, don't go down there. I'm hoping she'll be able to make it. If not, then it'll just be me and Michael in the room, and my midwife. During labor, I'd like music played. So in my case, I'll be paying for Wi-Fi to use their Wi-Fi, and I'll be watching ASMR videos during my labor up until I am actually in the active labor / pushing phase. So I'll be watching like a whole bunch. I'm gonna have a playlist made specifically for November 27th if I do end up having them that day. So we'll see. I would like as few interruptions as possible, as few vaginal exams as possible. So I don't want to be checked frequently. I want to be checked once or twice. I want them to check me when I come in, and I want them to check me around the time that my contractions begin to get stronger. I want hospital staff limited to my own doctor and nurses, so I don't want any students, residents, or interns present during my delivery, only because it makes the room less crowded the less people I have in there, so it'll make it easier for me to be able to focus and not have to worry about who's all there watching me, taking notes on me, recording me, whatever. I'd like to wear my own clothes, so I'm probably just gonna wear like scrubs, not scrubs, but basically like clothes that I wouldn't wear on an everyday basis, so like just relaxing clothes type thing, maybe pajamas that I don't wear often. I want my partner, so Michael, to film and or take pictures. Michael won't be doing that. We have our friend Tom has agreed to do my birth photos for me, so he'll be there. Hopefully he'll make it. Hopefully he's not playing paintball or something that day, because I know he plays paintball on a regular basis, and he also runs 2 other businesses aside from the job he has here. So I want Michael to be present the entire time. I'd like to stay hydrated with clear liquids and ice chips, and I would like to eat and drink as approved by my midwife. It says doctor, but I won't have a doctor present. I'll have a midwife there. So I have indicated that I'd like to spend the first stage of labor, the early stages of labor, I want to try and labor as long as I can at home before it becomes too much. With having Allie here and whatnot, when it becomes too much, then I'll head into the hospital. But I basically want to be at home until my water breaks, type thing. But I've indicated I would like to be up walking around or in a bathtub. They do have a bathtub at the hospital I'm going to be delivering at, but it's not for delivering in, it's just for relaxing in. Basically when you're like, I think it's for when you're in the like early stages of labor, so like before your water breaks type thing. I didn't put anything on this one for the I'm not interested in, but it indicates if you're not interested in an enema, shaving of the pubic area, a urinary catheter, or an IV, unless I'm dehydrated, and a heparin or saline lock is not okay. I'm gonna try and avoid the whole IV route. I personally don't care if they shave down there. It's not gonna bother me. It'll actually make my job easier, since as of late I can't get down there anymore because my belly is getting too big, so I can't like look down there to shave anymore anyways, so it doesn't really matter. An enema, I'm not sure what that is. I'm gonna have to find out what that is, or if any of you guys know what that is, and let me know. I'd like fetal monitoring to be intermittent, so when I was having Allie, they had a monitor on my stomach for the whole 16 hours. I don't want that. I want them to only check the baby. Basically, I only want them to check him if he's in distress, or if I'm in distress or anything like that. I want them to only like check him like only a couple times. Just an FYI, this video might be long. I I can see it's already going on 10 minutes, so. I'd like labor augmentation. I would only like it first attempted by natural methods such as nipple stimulation or anything, walking or bouncing on a ball or anything like that. I want like it completely natural. I want my body to have him completely naturally. Like, I don't want any Pitocin or any drugs that will induce me or anything like that. I want my body to just do what it's supposed to do on its own. Because with the Pitocin, it made my labor really difficult. She's trying to get in my chocolate milk. It made my labor really difficult, so I don't want to go through that again. For pain relief, I'd like to use breathing techniques, massage, and for pain medication, only what I request at the time. So when I'm ready for my epidural or whatever it is that I decide to get. And because I will be getting an epidural, I don't think I'll be able to do it unmedicated. I'm a wuss when it comes to pain, and I can still remember feeling the pain I felt because my epidural wore off just before I started pushing. So I was pretty much able to feel everything with her, every push, and I felt everything up to them putting the forceps inside me to try and turn her, up until they had me on the operating table and they'd stuck another needle in my back to completely freeze me. So I was feeling everything. So I that was really difficult for me, and it was hard for Michael to see me like that, so I don't want to go through that again. During delivery, I would like to squat, lie on my side, or lean on Michael. So I don't want to be on my back, like, at all, because that made pushing very difficult last time, and I know I've heard from a lot of moms that pushing on your back actually makes labor a lot more difficult, so, because you're just laying in the same position. There's an option for you to bring birthing stool, birthing chair, squatting bar, or birthing tub. I have none of those, so I didn't click them. As the baby is delivered, I would like to push spontaneously on my own whenever I feel a contraction, push myself, not be told when to push. Push without time limits as long as the baby and I are not at risk. So basically, take my time with pushing him out unless they tell me that he needs to come out like immediately, that something's wrong. Then I'm just going to take my time with the pushing process. I'd like to touch his head as it crowns. So as he's coming out, I want to be able to feel that. So, which I've told Michael I'm going to do. I asked him if he wanted to as well, but he said he's not going to be able to handle it, so he's not going to do that. I'd like to have a full dose of epidural. I want to avoid forceps usage. I want to help catch the baby, and I want to let my partner catch the baby, but Michael already told me he doesn't feel comfortable doing that, so I'm going to have to let my midwife know. And I said I would like an episiotomy only performed as a last resort. So if there's no other option, they have to do it on me, then I'll let them do it. Episiotomy is when they cut the skin in between the underneath your vagina and between your bum. They cut that wider so that way the baby can come through. And I know a lot of women that had it done. My mom had it done with me and my sister. I don't know if she did with my older sister, but she did with me and my younger sister. And from what she told me, she said she didn't feel it, but I guarantee she did. So immediately after delivery, I would like Michael to cut the umbilical cord. I want the umbilical cord to be cut only after it stops pulsating, because the baby gets the best nutrients back from all that blood that they've built up in the placenta. So I want them to not cut the cord until that's completely like empty, so he gets back all that blood, all the full nutrients. I'd like to deliver the placenta spontaneously and without assistance, and I would not like to be given Pitocin or oxytocin when I do that. If a C-section is necessary, I would like to make sure all other options have been exhausted. So weigh out all the pros and cons. I would like to stay conscious. I would like... Oh, Pepper, that stinks. Whew. She farted. I would like my partner to remain with me the entire time. And I said this time I'd like the screen to be lowered so I can watch him come out if I do end up getting a C-section. I want my hands left free so I can touch the baby. I want an epidural for anesthesia. I want my partner to hold the baby as soon as possible, and I wish to breastfeed in the recovery room. I would like to hold the baby immediately after delivery and before eye drops or ointment are given. And I would like to breastfeed as soon as possible after delivery. I would like my family members to join me and baby in the room later, which I still have to fill that part out, but that'll basically be if my stepmom is present at the birth, then afterwards it would be Allie would come with Randy and Carol. My sister-in-law would probably come. My brother and sister will probably come with my dad. So not a lot of family would come and see me in the hospital. It would mostly be friends, like close friends that would come see me, so I don't have to worry about being bombarded with people. I would like baby's medical exam and procedures given in my presence, given only after we've bonded, and given in my partner's presence. There's an option to please don't give baby vitamin K, antibiotic eye treatment, sugar water formula, or pacifier. I didn't check off any of those because I'm okay with that. But the formula, I'm okay with them giving him formula if he needs it, because there's a chance that my breastfeeding might not work out like it did with Allie, so, which is fine. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but I'll be a little upset, I'm not gonna lie. I would like baby's first bath given by me or by my partner, and I'd like to feed baby, hopefully, only with breast milk on schedule with the help of a lactation specialist. I'd like baby to stay in my room all the time. I'd like my partner to have unlimited visiting and be able to sleep in my room. If we have a boy, a circumcision should be performed later and be performed in the presence of me and or my partner. The only thing that sucks about where I live is that the parents aren't allowed to be present for the surgery when they do it. They don't do it at birth anymore. They do it up to 2 weeks after birth. We've already decided that we will be getting him circumcised, so that appointment will be being made after he's born. And then the last page for this one. As needed post-delivery, please give me extra strength acetaminophen, stool softener, and laxatives. I had a horrible time using the bathroom after I had Allie, so biggest mistake I made was, I think, day 2. The day after my surgery. It was either the day after my surgery or the second day. I was really, really constipated and I really needed to go, but I couldn't push because it hurt too much. So they gave me a stool softener, and I had drank a extra large coffee before that, and oh my god, I spent like I think 2 hours on the toilet, not gonna lie, it was really, really horrible. After birth, I'd like to stay in the hospital as long as possible, and if baby's not well, I'd like my partner and I to accompany him to the NICU or another facility. So that was one of the birth plan thingies. This one's a little bit more kind of organized. It looks like this with some baby center. So my name, Kenzie Williston, you guys know. My partner is Michael. So the attendants I'd like to be present during labor and or birth is Michael, my stepmom, which I already said, and my midwife. I'd like to bring music, which I'll be watching ASMR, like I said. Wear my own clothes during labor and delivery, and take pictures and or video during labor and delivery. I'd like the option of returning home if I'm not in active labor. Once admitted, I'd like my partner to be allowed to stay with me at all times. Only my practitioner, nurse, and guests to be present, so no students, hospital personnel, all that stuff. to eat if I wish to try to stay hydrated by drinking clear fluids instead of having an IV, to walk and move around as I choose. As long as the baby and I are doing fine, I'd like to have intermittent rather than continuous electronic fetal monitoring, and be allowed to progress free of stringent time limits and have my labor augmented only if necessary. If available, I'd like to try a birthing pool or tub, which, as I explained already, my hospital does have a tub, so I'm going to see if I'm allowed to use it. It has the option for bring the following equipment, which I'm not bringing anything. For pain relief, I'd like to try the following pain management techniques: a bath or shower, breathing techniques or distraction, massage, or medication as I request it. Please don't offer me pain medication. I'll request it if I need it. If I decide I want medicinal pain relief, I prefer a regional analgesia. I can't pronounce that. Basically, epidural. When it's time to push, I'd like to do so instinctively and be allowed to progress free of stringent time limits as long as my baby and I are doing fine. I'd like to try the following positions for pushing in birth, so it's the same as the other birth plan: side lying, squatting, or on my hands and knees. For vaginal birth during delivery, I'd like to touch my baby's head as it crowns, the room to be quiet as possible, to give birth without an episiotomy, and for my partner to help catch our baby, which I'm going to have to let my midwife know that he is not able to do that. So after birth, I'd like to hold my baby right away, putting off any procedures that aren't urgent, to breastfeed as soon as possible, not to get oxytocin or pitocin after I deliver the placenta unless it's necessary. So if I'm like in really, really horrible, like agonizing pain pushing it out. To wait until the umbilical cord stops pulsating before it's clamped and cut, and for my partner to cut the umbilical cord. For C-section, if I have a C-section, I'd like my partner present at all times during the operation. The screen lowered a bit so I can see my baby being delivered, the baby to be given to my partner as soon as he's dried, if appropriate, and to breastfeed my baby in the recovery room. We are not planning on doing cord blood banking, because here we have to pay for it, but either way we're not doing that because there's not going to be any blood left in the umbilical cord anyways, because he's going to be getting it all back. So for the postpartum, after delivery, I'd like all newborn procedures to take place in my presence, my partner to stay with the baby at all times if I can't be there, to stay in a private room, which I will probably have a private room which will be covered by OHIP, and to breastfeed my baby. To have a cot provided for my partner so he can sleep in my room. They didn't give him a cot last time. He had a chair. He had to sleep in a chair. Very uncomfortable. I'd like 24-hour rooming in with my baby, so I'd like the baby to be in my room at all times, and my other children brought in to see me and meet the new baby as soon as possible after birth, which I want Allie to come depending on the time that he comes. If he's delivered early morning, I'd like her to come in the afternoon, because the sooner she gets that bondage in with him, the better. I think it'll be easier for her. For feeding, I plan to breastfeed exclusively. For circumcision, we're going to have him circumcised later. And for discharge, I'd like to wait and see how I feel before deciding about the timing of hospital discharge. Hopefully they let me have that option. I don't know if they will. If they don't, then I'll just have to work something out with my midwife. But yeah, so that is my birth plan. And if you guys have any questions or suggestions or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments. As always, I'm going to try and upload more frequently on this channel up until I actually have him. And hopefully I'll be able to record or vlog a bit in the hospital or up until I go into labor, and I'm probably going to be recording like any future appointments I have, whether that be with my midwife or ultrasounds, blood work, anything like that, because I'd like you guys to be able to experience it all with me. So because I appreciate all you guys' support. So yeah, that's basically it, and I'm hungry, so I'm gonna go eat. So Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, stay tuned and see y'all later. Bye.